still got to finish cutting through about, oh, good 1 3/4 I'd say. But I'll go ahead and make another couple of these, and then I'll cut them all by hand at the same time. I don't want to cut into the deck. With both the saw. Okay, a lot of work, but it turned out excellent. It looks beautiful. It's a nice looking cut. Looks good. Well, I thought, for the heck of it, let's see if I could figure out how to put one of these up here in position. I don't have enough screws. I have enough to put 2 screws in each one to take and do a wrap through. And in the process of that, my goal would be to kind of have this out here and then wrap around and pull it up in here. I just want it pretty stable when I want to be able to pinch it into place when I go to screw this in, so I can make sure it's lined up good. There we go. Support in the right spot. Not quite. Oh, darn it. Alright, that's the hard part. Look out, Sage, I don't want you right in the way. I couldn't get this to really work, so that's fine. Oh, this one's lighter. It's really dry. This would be, save the lightest for last to make life better. All right, that went on there. Easiest of all of them because it's the lightest. And I really don't care about the silvering. I may stain the stuff later, it's just a shop. You know, it'd bother me again if this was something I was using in my cabin. I wouldn't mind everything being silver though. I think inside, do some weathered look stuff. I think when I build my log cabin, what I'll do is I'll lay some stuff out, let it silver, and put beams in like this, in it too. And hopefully they'll all be silvered already. All I have to do is do some plugs. Might have to set those plugs out for a while to silver on me. I don't know if they make something that you can actually stain them that way. They probably have a gray stain that you could probably do. That's it for now. These should be 8-inch boards now. They're just under 8, which is perfect. I'm going to cut an angle to them as well on one side so that I have more contact. I want to have that contact there, so that's the purpose of doing this. Is so I have full contact all the way to the edge when I put that flashing on over the edge. So next project on these, just to make them look a little fresh and nice, because these longest ones, they're tamarack. They've been around for a good couple years, just sitting, already cut. They're dry as they're going to get. They're not going to shrink a bit. This one here, it looks like it's a piece of fir, but the other 3 are tamarack, I believe. But at any rate, it doesn't matter. They all need to be just hit with a planer, just kind of freshened up, and to make sure they're all exactly the same thickness anyways, for when it comes time to putting them up. And then I'll cut them to length before I do my angled cut on them. And we'll put those up. I think I did the same thing on this other tiny cabin, and I just like doing it that way. You know, I could cut them to 7 1/16 and then just drop them down so the outer edge comes up even, but then you're only going to hit the outer edge. You're not going to hit the rest of it. So that's the reason why I'm cutting them like I'm going to cut them. I've been kind of procrastinating because this end of the building is going to be the hardest to put up unless I take the plastic off. We got rain coming this week, and I haven't bought the wood yet because of the other stuff I'm waiting for. So what I may do is, just before I go pick up my wood, take the plastic off, pick a dry time, because when I come back, then I can start installing the wood. But anyway, so we'll get the side over the deck done first, and I've decided next year I'm going to build a step-down deck. I'm going to do another half hexagon where the steps are going to come down. And I'll make the steps so they can go this way, all three directions maybe, is what I'm thinking about doing. Plans can change between now and then. But it'll also be a picture frame. It'll all be picture frame deck again. Sage, no, we're not playing. And I'm contemplating another siding idea versus what I was going to do is board and batten. I've had this idea for a cabin for a long time that I want to do. And when that time comes, I'll talk about it. But I got kind of a plan that might be really neat. And it'll give it more of a rustic look than even board and batten. So, definitely want to do it on the inside too. Tough call. Tough call. It's going to cost me a little bit of money because I'm going to have to get some different supplies that'll be not as simple as board and batten. But making my own wood saves me a ton of money. So to spend a little money on it here and there, to have something that's really neat, is kind of worth it. So you'll just have to stick around if you want to see what's coming up in the future. All right, I got to get this stuff packed up and start probably cutting it to length and planing it, and then doing my other cut. All right, I'm going to try and use a table saw I've never used before. It's one I received from a friend, and I put a new blade on it. So today we'll see if we can cut our, what I came up with is a 35-degree angle on these boards. Will be pretty parallel with the beams or the rafters, so that when I put my roofing on, everything will just come down nice and even. So we'll see how that works out. I'm not cutting the tails flat because I'm not going to put gutters on, so I'm not worried about that. And I'm not even worried about that being exactly perfect. These may be just a touch narrower, like a 1/16 of an inch. And I don't think it's going to make a difference because I'm going to have another roof going on below this roof, so you're not going to see really any of it. So I'm not worried about it being perfect. It works, but it's not easy because I don't have a table on each side. I think it'd be a lot easier if I was to build tables for it. This is kind of a jagged cut. I've got to clean up this spot, but truth is, I think it's sufficient. It'll work. But overall, not too bad. Not bad. It'll do. I mean, if it was a visual thing, if you were to see this edge, no, it wouldn't work for me. I'd probably go with a skill saw because I can probably have a lot more control over it and just snap line. But I wanted to try this, and it could be just me, but I think it's mostly the fact I need to have an in-feed and an out-feed table, something for this to land on. Then I can just keep pushing from behind and keep it nice and straight and true. But although I did that, well, I guess, yeah, it's still not perfect even in the beginning. So, but then again, this is wobbly. So again, if I make a good solid in-feed table and out-feed table, this may work really good, for especially for long boards. Short boards, probably no problem at all. Anything long, that's when it gets complicated. Yeah. That should hold it in place. This one will go on. Next. All right. I've got this done. It's cut to a 35, as you can see here in the picture. And this is a short one. We'll go ahead and put it up. It's starting to sprinkle, which I expected would come in. I want to go ahead and get this one up, get the rest of that stuff stapled. If I can get the second one up before full-on downpour, that would be great. So we'll see what happens here, because I can't film out in the rain, but I can film inside. But right this second, I'm not doing anything in there. But we will be working on them windows and working on the window frames. So I got to get a little organized in there. I'm just throwing stuff in there for now, but I do need to get a little organized so that I can work in there this winter. I was hoping, and I am hoping, that I can get the wood stove hooked up once I get the sheathing up on the roof. Then I'll go ahead and start working on the wood stove next, get that all dialed in, and that way I can, all this little thin trim stuff, I can cut to 6-inch lengths, and that would be my firewood for when I'm in there. And that would be really nice. I think I need a couple pieces of pipe still. I bought enough pipe to go up, I think, 14 feet, but I think it's going to be more than that. I think we're looking more like 24 feet or 22 feet to the top of the pipe above the peak. So I'll get into the details on that. If you've never hooked up a wood stove, it's really not that tough. So, all right. You know, I have no regrets about going off grid. I know some people do, but I just think some people just aren't cut out for it. So you might want to make sure you're cut out for it before you do it. Realize that there's hard work ahead of you if you buy raw land like I have, and plan it out before you move out. I planned everything out, which has made things better for me. Nothing's perfect, mind you. But it's a whole lot better than living in the city amongst a bunch of people. You get a few people around this area or your area you're in, depending on, unless you go into Alaska, then your neighbor's a flight away. But yeah, it's really nice when you have just a select few neighbors that you can rely on, or they can rely on you. Makes it really nice. So This is just a regular evening. Kicking back by a fire. Getting rid of some of my bark. I mean, some of it I could have wood chipped. It really makes good wood chips. You know, the dark bark looks good with the lighter bark chips. So pretty soon, this whole area you're going to see around here, I'm going to start chipping and laying the chips out and spreading them out. And I'm going to give it kind of a park-like effect, which will make it much nicer for anybody, especially my kids when they come to visit, to come see something that I've converted from, you know, just a plain forest to what would look like, you know, if you went to a park to go camping. That's what I'm trying to do, but better yet, because usually when you go camping, you got to bring a trailer. I got a cabin. I got a shop that can be a cabin. So I got a lot of stuff going, and I plan on building a pergola and a few other things. So stay tuned. There's a whole lot more to come. It's going to take time. So this is a long-term investment for me, as well as if you want to watch it, it's going to be more of a long-term investment. But I imagine you'll get some good ideas if you're seriously considering ever going off grid. I think that this channel here that I am doing will give you some real life experiences that will give you a clue as to what, you know, you can look through the window, through my eyes, and see what I'm doing and see if that's something you want to do, with or without dogs. All right, I love my dogs, don't get me wrong. But when I'm recording, it doesn't help very much. They want to go after a little chunk of wood. Well, it's that time of year. It's supposed to rain today. It's not looking real good, so it could. So I am going to hang this up. I don't really like having it hung, but I think it'll be better than not having a tarp over this. I'm rehooking, repositioning where it hooks up, so I have nice tight, because I'll bounce the snow off of it. Now let's get this other side done. And we'll be able to raise and lower it depending on what the weather's doing. Right now, I might have to do something in the center of the tarp to hold it up. So I'm gonna throw some of them here with some posts like I usually do, which should bring this side down a little bit here. So basically what I'm doing is creating a funnel this year, so it'll all funnel out right here. So see if we can't get hooked up and do some of that. think I'm already hitting something. I am using less of these this year, which is nice. An angle of my cabin you rarely see, if ever. This small section with this bump, this is my bathroom and water holding area. This originally was for the on-demand hot water for the shower, which went bad. So it's got nothing in it right now. And I've got another on-demand hot water system, propane version. That's for a whole home. I was going to put in my cabin that I'm going to build for my home, but I think I'll put it in here. I'll get a new one for the cabin when that time comes. And then I've got a 110 volt one in here, just a little teeny one attached to the counter I did a video on. I think I'm going to put it in the shop because the shop's not a home. So a little hot water on 110, used once in a while, it won't matter. Plus I'll have a bigger solar power station in it than this cabin does. This one's just got the EcoFlow Delta Max, the old version. And I originally bought that version for my travel trailer. And then when I built this and sold the trailer, I kept it for this. Not something I would recommend for a cabin. It's great if you want to be mobile. Maybe you want to use it in the cabin, but you want to take it with you when you go places too. Then that would make sense. But as far as for cabin power, the Delta Max or the Delta Max 2, I don't really think that would be something I would ever use in a cabin. I would go with probably a rack battery or a wall mount battery where I could get at least 10,000 watts of power from it, minimum for a cabin. Maybe a minimum could be 5,000 watts, but for me, I'd rather have 10,000 watts and have enough solar panels to keep it charged so I don't have to use a generator very much, because that gets expensive. I was so glad when I got off the generator, but for the winter time, I still have to use a generator to charge my batteries because I don't have enough sun, and the solar panels I have aren't necessarily the best in the world either. So okay, I got to get back to work here. Let's get this going. But yeah, I should be able to buy the camera here, come up with something and just pull snug. Oh yeah, I got lots of length. Hopefully this will hold up for the winter. That should be good enough. So right here, I kind of built a little covered area. This used to be where I had my on-demand shower, and I take showers out here. This is now where I'm going to put my generator. I'm thinking right out here. What do you think, Sage? Hmm? Yay. From the looks of it, I don't have to duck way down anymore. Of course, I don't know how that's going to react with the snow on it. It's going to drop it down. But really, oh, that's much nicer. Really is. but I thought I'd try and dismantle this today. I'm going to video everything so that I can kind of catalog what I'm doing. As I mark stuff, I'll know where it goes. Kind of map it out with a video. It'll help. There's one done. As far as the little glass goes, I have some free glass that I got, that single pane, exact same thickness. That came off of, I don't know if it was for a greenhouse or what the people told me, I can't remember. But I got 5 sheets. They're about 3 feet wide by, oh, probably close to 8 feet in height. I don't think they're quite 8 feet. But anyway, they're wider and taller than what I need here. And you know, I could go get a glass cutter. I may still have some. I've done glass cutting before. It's been years. Pull this glass out of here. Oh, I think I can. I think I can pull it out right now. It's definitely anchored onto there. Let's take a look at that real quick. There's got to be something on the other side I'm not seeing. Okay, we'll start taking things apart just the same. We'll get there. They definitely got some crazy cuts going on. Of the way, and then maybe, oh, there's another screw right there. And by doing that, the gear actually kind of gets out of the way. Let's see if I can get this out now. Oh yeah, that's what you got to do. But there's still one more screw besides. They're fairly technical. I mean, there's a lot of parts to them. Insane amount of parts to the frames. But I want all the hardware to go in the same. There's some brass hardware here, which is pretty slick. Okay, windows detached. It needs to be all taken apart too, but in the meantime, whoop, that came off. Let's see here. Okay, so this has some brass hardware on it that's going to have to come off. This looks like it would be fairly simple to put together for the center. I don't want to take it all the way apart right now. It's multiple pieces as well. This is a pretty rough deal. I'll work with what I can from this, but I don't think I can get everything patterned out off of this that I need. These are all one piece. Okay, so I've got it fairly tore apart to the point where I can make some of these pieces and produce them a little longer than I need, so I can cut them down based on what I think I need and the angles. Like this one's got a little bit of an angle to it. But I have an idea of what I need to do before I tear things apart even farther. And maybe even not tearing it apart, maybe just measure each little piece, thickness of each piece. Like here I can see everything I need. That's going to be a piece of cake to deal with this whole piece. without taking it apart. Let's see how this one is. Yeah, I can do the same thing here. I don't need to take it apart to figure out what I need. This is the opposite side of the top. Yeah, I can do that with this too. It looks like a little bit different piece of trim going on right here. I don't know if that was replaced at some point without looking at the others, but it definitely different than this side, which is weird. Okay, I can make that. I should be able to make the rest of this without taking it apart. Weird. There's a piece of metal right here that I'll have to salvage and just cut a groove and put it in. And it's a beveled piece where the window goes, I think. But this is just three pieces is all it is. So I should be able to do that too. The center, how would that all work out? There's 1, 2, 3 on this side. There's that metal again. There's one piece there, 2 pieces here, 1 more here. Yeah, I can probably avoid taking this all the way apart. That would be the preferred method, not to disassemble everything. Just get that out, and then the tough part's going to be this guy right here, making the window frame. They lap notched it here. I can do that. That's not a big deal. I can't do the grooves, but I can still do one piece of wood like that. There's a bevel on here. It bevels all the way for that. So I won't take that apart until I can make the frame for it. Then I'll take it apart the rest of the way. Fun. It's going to be a challenge. It really is. It's going to take time. But if I can get this remade, I'll be pretty amazed. I've never done nothing like this before. So a restoration of this. I mean, it's not the best glass in the world because it's single pane and all that, but I'm fine with that for a shop. All right, that's it for now.